Hi, I am Allison Kaminsky. I am one of the health coaches here at Partner MD, as well as the Ideal Protein Coordinator. And today we are going to discuss how to improve your lab numbers, specifically triglycerides and glucose. So, what are triglycerides and glucose? So, when you get your triglycerides and glucose tested, your triglycerides are going to be done in a lipid panel. The lipid panel measures the fats in your blood. Triglycerides, cholesterol, LDL, HDL, things like that. And when you get those numbers back, you want your triglycerides less than or 150 or less. Now, going on to glucose measurements are done through what's called CMP, or a comprehensive metabolic panel, and that tests a lot of things like electrolyte level, glucose, obviously, liver and kidney function, etc. Now, if you're doing those fasting, you want your glucose levels at around 100, and if they're non-fasted, you want it around 140 or less. Okay, so like second part, you get your labs back, your numbers maybe not so great, so what can you do about it? Nutritionally, you can eat less carbs and sugars. And I'm not just talking about, cut back on the cookies and the soda and the desserts. Even things like excess, carbs in the form of pasta and potatoes and rice can elevate those triglyceride levels and glucose levels. And also alcohol is a big thing when it comes to these triglycerides, because alcohol is interesting macronutrient, and it has 7 calories per gram, which is more than protein and carbs, less than fat. Fat has 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein have 4 calories per gram. And when you intake alcohol, when you drink it, it is processed before anything else. So if you have a night of drinking and eating, that alcohol is going to be processed before any of your other foods. So just decreasing alcohol intake, even 72 hours before your labs, can help. And then, so if we think about it, we're taking out some carbs and some sugar and some alcohol. So what can we replace these things with to help improve our levels? One of the suggestions is definitely healthy fats. Now, these are, poly and monosaturated fats, and you can get them from olive oil, coconut oil, nuts and seeds. You want to stay away from things like processed meats, like lynch meat, bacon or sausage, things like that. And then next, you definitely want fiber. Fiber is huge because most Americans don't get near as much fiber as they should. We should be eating between 25 and 30 grams a day, but most Americans get way, way less than that. I actually measured mine the other day and I was only getting 7 a day, and I tend to think I eat pretty healthy, but I have to bump that up. Something that I found is really easy, quick fix for fiber is adding chia seeds to my normal breakfast smoothie because they're packed with fiber. Any fruit and vegetable is going to usually be high in fiber, so it's a good excuse to incorporate a bunch of new veggies and fruits into your diet to try to increase your fiber intake. And then lastly, obviously you can exercise. Exercise is so beneficial. Even if you're really busy, you're not a morning person, you're not an evening person, you're not a workout at lunch person, just a dedicated 10 to 20 minutes of exercise a day can make a huge difference in your lab levels. And then also just weight loss. So if you're someone who carries a little bit of excess weight, if you lose any sort of, body fat mass or fat pounds, make sure it's coming from the right place. We want it coming from fat and not, your muscle. But as long as you're losing fat, I have noticed that most levels just increase in a good way. They improve. Most of your lab levels will just improve. So weight loss is huge, and then you can easily do that by incorporating some of the things I talked about, lowering your carb intake and alcohol intake, replacing those with healthy, nutrient-dense veggies and fruit, and then get your exercise in every day. Get your protein in, get your veggies and fruits in, and get your exercise in, and your lab results will be a-okay. So that is all I have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Allison, Partner MD.